수출을 시작했습니다. 새로운 기회를 포착한 겁니다. 그것은 원대한 혹은 무모한 꿈이었습니다.
What markets were you serving? Where were you selling this?
Basically, in the beginning, we sold domestic, but at the same time, we started exporting, which was very rare for Korean company at that time. Right from the beginning, we started export. The first one was Vietnam. And then we started selling since 1965 to the States, United States.
When in 1965 was the time that the government adopted the export promotion policies.
Yes.
And was that helpful to your business?
Yes, very much. Actually, frankly speaking, by exporting, we could buy the right to use US dollars.
Right.
Which was
to
very...
buy machinery and other things.
Right. Otherwise, we cannot expand ourselves.
I think Korea is one of the best examples of a country that initially tried some kind of import substitution strategy in the late 1950s and found it wasn't working very well, and then shifted rather aggressively and actively to a export-oriented development strategy, and that was really important. It followed what was a rather standard economic development model of how a country could develop most effectively.
All right. Nice to see
Nice
you.
to see you. Glad to see you.
1960년대 중반 한국 정부의 경제정책 수립에 관여했던 김적교 씨를 만났습니다. 그는 저와 함께 당시 한국 정부의 경제정책 전환을 위해 노심초사했던 동료입니다.
To promote rapid industrialization, we need to promote heavy industries. They had great difficulties because the U.S. government was not sympathetic to the military government. So government tried to raise the revenues and the monies and had the currency reform to mobilize savings. But that reform failed. So also they had great difficulties in foreign exchange. So we had in 1963 serious foreign exchange crisis because of the aid cut by the U.S. government. So they have to shift.
Was opposed to those projects, and they were supplying much of the foreign aid that the country was receiving.
Yes.
And so when they couldn't reach agreement, why they've cut down on the aid.
That's right. So the government has to shift the development strategy from import substitution toward export promotion.
And it was a way of trying to earn foreign exchange
But you see,
that you could control.
그러나 미국과 세계은행은 한국의 수출 주도형 경제 전환에 회의적이었습니다. 1962년 세계은행이 내놓은 한국 경제에 관한 보고서입니다. 당시 한국 정부가 정했던 수출 목표가 지나치게 높고 이것이 한국 경제의 잠재력을 넘어서는 것이기 때문에 이루어지기 힘들다고 우려하고 있습니다.
Most people thought that Korea was sure to fail. Most people at that time were either pushing import substitution or who knows what, but no one at the time really praised Korea for its strategy. The most important reason it worked better in Korea and why it worked better in Taiwan as well was the Korean leadership in both countries, the economic leadership in both of these economies, knew that if they failed, that would not just be that they would have inefficient industry, they might not have a country. As they could lose South Korea. It could end up being swallowed up by North Korea. Taiwan could be swallowed up by China. And if you ask some of these senior people involved, you know, why did you make the right decisions? The essence of their reply was, we had no choice. failure was not an option.
한국의 산업계는 빠르게 변화했습니다. 원사를 수입해 국내에서 가공, 판매하는 방식으로 수입 제품을 대체하던 섬유 회사들도 하나둘 수출로 전략을 선회했습니다. 원료부터 기계까지 수입에 의존하는 상황에서 달러를 버는 방법은 수출뿐이었습니다.
수출을 통해 가지고 외화를 벌어들이고 그것이 바탕이 돼 가지고 이제 투자를 할 수 있고 또 투자를 함으로써 고용이 늘고 소득이 늘고 하는 게 하나의 그 선순환 과정이 수출을 통해서 일어날 수 있기 때문에 뭐 수출이 그 절대적으로 필요했다고 이렇게 생각할 수 있죠.
One additional incentive for an export-oriented strategy was if you were going to get away from dependence on foreign aid and being told what to do by the Americans, you were going to have your own foreign exchange. So exports became critical to that strategy, and the motivation there was at least in part to get away from U.S. pressure. Yeah. Now, whether you call that a U.S. contribution or not, I don't know.
Well, I just think that the U.S. shifted its stance very much at the same time from trying to be directive to trying to be more supporting. And I think that the international organizations also came in at that time to be more supportive of the new Korean strategy.
Well, I certainly agree that when the strategy changed, the U.S. government was certainly perfectly supportive of it. It certainly didn't stand in its way. And the aid continued for a little while.
And it shifted its orientation, though, from supporting assistance to development loans and that kind of thing, but also the World Bank and others came in at that time too.
이즈음 수출 주도형 산업화를 시작한 나라는 한국, 대만, 싱가포르, 홍콩 이 네 나라였습니다. 동아시아 4대용으로 불리는 이들은 2차 세계대전 이후 산업화에 성공한 마지막 주자들입니다.
Once Korea was freed from its colonial times and became an independent nation, it too has pursued this development path, which is, I think, the same path that Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong have been very successful. What's different about Korea is the commitment of the Korean people to work extraordinarily hard and to be very ambitious. In some sense, Koreans are the most ambitious people I know.
One way to think of the Korean economic miracle is it's the best example we have about how the market system worked in a country that previously was quite poor, and in one lifetime people achieved standards of living comparable to the high-income countries. There are other examples, but maybe Korea is the best example of a moderately large country that achieved that.
70 years of Korean development, nothing short of a miracle, I think, of which people of Korea, the government of Korea, can be truly proud of.
전후 절망의 폐허 위에서 성공을 장담할 수 없는 새로운 길을 선택한 대한민국. 이 낯선 도전은 대한민국의 운명을 바꾼 첫 번째 드라마였습니다.
In the 1960s, U.S. consumption of imported manufactured goods was increasing rapidly. Korea saw an opportunity to move into the markets that had been previously supplied by Japan. Korea was ready to grow more rapidly by expanding its exports. Export-led growth had never been tried by any other countries that had previously been colonized. Export-led growth provided the basis for achieving Korea's remarkable miracle. That's kind of a baby of the second five-year plan. These very special people
build a bridge between the older generation and the present generation.